Good to know. Good to know. How you doing?
Very good. I just put some music on and did the dance session.
Unbelievable. With the kids, or you just smashed out a happy dance?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's really timely, and I know you'll learn that somebody else is about to jump on the call as well. Your mate Hannah is about to jump. Yeah, she's about to jump on a call, and she said, "Do you mind if I jump on and go for a walk while I'm doing it?" I'm like, that is perfect for today's topic, because really what we're talking about is movement today, and we're talking about what movement is to you, and also how you can kind of inject little bouts of movement throughout your day that it may not be like overly apparent to you. So these are things that can come up. I'm still looking for that really sweet spot time that we can find that everybody is. Friday, Arvo, I know with Tyson, kids and sleeping, it's all kind of all over the place, but does Friday afternoon kind of work for you?
Yeah, it depends. Like for now, if it's now and then I pick them up, I like leave at 10 to 3. So yeah, it should work.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I think the lives are pretty bite-sized, short, sharp, and powerful. And the idea is to get some really quick takeaways and make you feel kind of empowered for the weekend. So that's the idea.
Yeah.
Let's just see. I believe we have a little friend joining us. Where did Hannah go?
I did listen to one of your lives about the movement, like parking, walking to work. I'm just looking for my shoes so I can get ready. Yes, I do think so we try and walk our kids to school. It's a 20-minute walk one way. So Elle and I try and do it twice a week. It didn't happen this week because they were sick, but that's been a really good morning activity.
That's a massive injection. Like, that's so great. Like, just to be able to do that alone twice a week is a massive injection of walking into your. Here we go. Let's just see what's happening. Putting someone in. Where are you, Hannah? Join us, my dear. So I wanted to take you through what the concept of NEAT is. I know I've talked about it a little bit in the past, but I'll talk to you about it again. NEAT is non-exercise attributed thermogenesis, and non-exercise really just means what we kind of don't see typical exercise as. In today's society, we've kind of grown up thinking that exercise is all combined and concisely placed into a gym, into a 30-minute or a 45-minute bout, and you have an instructor in front of you, and you have gyms, you have weights around you, etc. But the reality is you can be anywhere, and you can do exercise in so many different ways. So I wanted to share a few different examples of. Hey, Hannah. Hey, Hannah, welcome, my dear.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. I'm just on a walk.
Lovely.
Hey, neighbour.
Hey, neighbour. It's very hot.
It is. It's super hot. I was just catching Ness up on just quickly, and it's always hard to get a gauge, but does Friday afternoon around the 2 o'clock, 2:30 mark work for you guys, roughly speaking, to be able to have a Facebook Live?
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, cool. Okay, let's workshop.
Friday's not really busy.
Let's workshop that for now. I was just catching Ness up into what we're going to talk about now, and it's about injecting exercise in the way you don't necessarily see exercise as. So we've talked about what exercise is. Hey.
Hello.
We've talked about what exercise is, the way we see exercise as a society. We go to the gym, we do a structured class, we lift weights, etc. But what are other ways that you can kind of inject exercise? There are so many different ways, like I've had some really, like, I mean, look, it's my job to be able to think of different ways to be able to do this. And I am my own guinea pig. I inject this into my day, and it's been wonderful to be able to go through that exercise. And I'll go through some really, really simple ways to start off with. And they're things that, we do, that we're presented with all the time, but we may not take. And it's just a matter of kind of like being conscious of it initially and then executing it. And the first thing is like quite simply taking the stairs, like if you have the option of an escalator or an elevator or stairs, most people take the elevator, right? Like if you can just invest that extra 5 minutes to go up to the 5th floor, and you do that every time you're going up to your office building or your school or whatever it might be, or Melbourne Central, whatever it is, you can still, you can really do some damage there in a good way, get those glutes firing, and it can be a wonderful thing. So that's one thing. Another thing is exactly what Hannah's doing right now, which is taking a walking meeting. I mean, I'm constantly in meetings, and I'm constantly pounding the pavement with my headphones and taking notes, on my notes function in my iPhone. So if you ever have the opportunity to be able to do that, I highly, highly recommend it. Is that something either of you guys have done in the past or continue to do?
Yeah. Yesterday I was at Melbourne Central and the escalators weren't working. So it was a good time to push the pusher up the escalator.
Perfect. That's what we like to hear. Damn technology. Yeah, let's override technology and be the machines ourselves. But it's almost like a circuit breaker sometimes. Sometimes you need something like that to open your eyes up to the possibility of what you actually can do. And that can simply be just taking the healthier option. We're always after the convenient, comfortable option, but sometimes just being a little bit uncomfortable for 5 minutes, if you do it enough times and weave it and inject it throughout the week enough times, that can actually have a massive effect. Think about if you went to your work office and you walked up the stairs twice a day for 5 minutes. That's 10 minutes, 5 times a week. After a year, think about the kind of effect that would have on your body. Significant, like really, really significant. So that's something to really, really consider. And, the Hero program is all about chipping away in a non-intimidating way. It's about how can I take action in ways that may not appear to be seemingly too imposing at the time of the event, but cumulatively, the compound effect of it is going to be significant. So getting better 1% every day and compounding that's the idea. The next example could be, and Ness, you referenced this, it's like parking in an inconvenient position. When you're going to the supermarket, everyone's looking for the George Costanza parking spot. Let's get that perfect parking spot. But what if we were to go for like the least convenient parking spot and walk back with our shopping bags instead of using the trolley? Once again, you do this once, you'll have an effect, but it won't seem that apparent. But if you do it every time you're going, it's already going to start to build up. And you're obviously using resistance training as well when you're carrying the shopping bag. So that's another big one, and that goes for anywhere you go. You can just park that little bit further away. And it used to really piss me off. I used to have a friend that always parked. He always used to go for the safe park because he was always afraid he wouldn't get one closer. And I was like, come on, you can get a better park. You can get a better park. But now I don't want the good park. I want the bad park. Another thing is walking the pram, right? Like some of us have older kids. Others of us have younger kids. Whether you're going for a walk with your kids because they're able-bodied and they're older, or you're taking the pram for a walk you know, having really young kids, it's part and parcel of taking, I love taking, you know, little Jude for a walk in the pram. But, you know, if I ever walk past a workout station at a park, I'll smash out some dips, some pull-ups, let him, you know, watch me, you know, do some push-ups on the ground, do some burpees. And it's always great to be an example, even at that age, for them to be able to see you moving and doing these types of things. So that's something that I always make part and parcel. You may know a lot of these, right? But it's always about bringing them into your conscious sphere. Thing that I loved about, and I didn't love many things about COVID, but the thing I did like about COVID was you weren't allowed to sit down and have coffee, you know, at a cafe. There was a culture that was brought up of getting your takeaway coffee and going for a walk around the park. And I've actually brought that into the post-COVID world. I like to take my coffee and go for a walk with a friend as opposed to sitting down at a cafe. And I think that's just a wonderful way to be able to still be social and still be active at the same time. So I don't know, has anybody continued to do that now that coffee shops are open and available for seating?
Yeah, and I just want to say something back on the playground.
Yes.
One thing we saw this dad playing chasey with his kids on the playground. So now Elle and I just, well, sometimes play chasey with them, and it's like a really great up, down, through the tunnels, on the everything, and it's a very big. We tag team, Elle and I, because we can't keep up.
And that is your perfect example of interval training. I mean, you're trying to keep up with a 6-7-year-old, which is going to be a challenge in itself. So you got a tag team, you tag someone out, you go hard, elevate the heart rate, you bring it back down, and then you go again. It's time to go again. And that's just a really wonderful example of just doing high intensity training, but heart rate variability training. And these are things that we just didn't do. We did without thinking when we were young kids. Now we need to give it a little bit more thought because we're a little bit more, I don't know, we're just so structured about our lives now. You know, we need to do exercise in this way and that way. And we're also a little bit self-conscious sometimes about, you know, playing kids games, but I think it's wonderful that you are able to do that with Elle and the kids. So well done, Ness. That's really cool. Walking meetings we talked about. And the last thing I want to talk about is trying to identify something that you do every day that is really something that you can bank on you're going to be doing every day, like putting the kettle on, or waiting for the coffee machine to start up, or, you know, putting something in the toaster, or using the microwave. Whatever it is that takes like 2 minutes to do, that is a perfect opportunity for you to either do something movement wise. I always like to do like some mobility movements while the kettle's on, or I'm waiting for the coffee machine to heat up. Or, you know, you can obviously also do some mindfulness practice or whatever it might be, but using something that is an anchor point that you do on a daily basis, and just trying to attach something constructive to that, can be a really, really powerful thing for you to do on a daily basis. So if anybody has any thoughts about what they like, just based around their morning routine, what they do on a predictable fashion, that they might be able to inject exactly what I talked about there, please just unmute yourself and let me know what your thoughts are. Does anyone have any tea, you know, putting the tea on, or waiting for a coffee, or anything of the like? I'll tell you a great way to go about injecting something when you may be doing something really passive. A simple one, watching TV. When the kids are gone down and you're watching TV, it sometimes is a really conscious process for me, but I will now, whenever I remember, and it's kind of half, I will be actively stretching. I'll be doing, kind of any type of stretch that because sometimes I don't stretch as much as I should be throughout the day. So I'll use the nighttime in the evening to be able to unwind my body. So that's something to consider as well. Any thoughts to inject into the theme of today, guys?
You posted the other day about gardening. I liked your little lawnmower and that kind of little thing. And so I've been doing a lot of gardening. So I do think about it. Like I had to put all the leaves in the rubbish bin. So I was like doing squats while I was doing it, even like cleaning up the toys. I sometimes think that I'm like going to squat down rather than just like bend down. So I do think about it. When I used to watch Biggest Loser back in the day, I used to go on the treadmill and my brothers used to tease me because sometimes I'd go on the treadmill while I was watching it and sometimes I'd eat ice cream. So
I love it.
But I like your posts. So thank you for sharing them. It does it gets me thinking when you do it, then I'm like, I can also, this is also exercise. It's not just the snippet of the day, 20 minutes or whatever the actual exercise routine is. So.
Yeah, good point, Ness. And you're absolutely spot on. And these are the types of things that we do day in, day out, and we don't necessarily think about. And if you draw that intention to it actually being constructive exercise, then what you're able to do is be a little bit more conscious about the movements as well. Activate the parts of the body that you need to be doing. And whilst once again isolated, it doesn't feel like a massive a massive investment of movement. It really is, especially if you're adding that intention into it. And like, I don't know, if you're sweeping or you're vacuuming. I know when I now clean the house, I'm really conscious of how I clean the house and how I can kind of take advantage of how my body moves around doing the gardening and cleaning the house. So all these types of things are really, really, I see them as opportunities to be able to do, so to be able to use. And the last thing I'll leave you with is, if you're working like at your desk or at your table, if you need to take a break or a rest, get up, go for a walk, go around the block, expose yourself to vitamin D. It will give you energy. It will give you or if you need to get up and I don't know, do some cleaning around the house, that's an opportunity for you to be active as well. So you can inject these little morsels of a work break which is going to give you perspective to come back a little bit more refreshed at the work desk, but also give you a little injection of 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes of physical exercise as well. So that's something to think about and consider. So today's thoughts were really just all centered around incidental exercise. And for those of you who weren't here, it was NEAT, non-exercise attributed thermogenesis, which really is a fancy, sexy name for saying incidental exercise. So I want you guys' homework is to think about ways that you can inject that throughout your week. If you can't think of a point in your morning or your evening where you can actually inject this, I know I'm having cups of tea after I put the kids to bed. So that's time for me to stretch. I also know if I'm sitting down and watching a TV program with Natty, I'm stretching. I know in the morning, I'm trying to do some stretches as well. So just think about little times where you are able to inject that. And that, my ladies, is it. Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Well done, guys. I hope you
Thanks, Paul.
I hope you got some value out of it. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you guys all next week. Well, I'll see you over the weekend. I'll be checking in with you all.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.